my class, everybody. We're going to talk about some basic rules on punt. So punt is a part of the special teams system here. What special teams entails is special teams is anytime there's a kick involved. So when there's a kickoff, a kick return, a field goal, or a punt, like what we're about to go over today, that's when special teams is involved. So I'll go over how we teach how to block and how we teach how to get downfield on our punt team. So we have two base calls in our punt team to start, and those are called green and gold. For starters, green and gold just means right and left. So green will mean right and gold will mean left. So typically when we're on the right hash, we'll call something where our punter can punt it to the right, so green, and vice versa. If we were on the left hash, our punter would like to go gold. It's just easier on him, and it's easier for our punt team to get closer to the ball carrier.
So that's a directional call, so where the punt's going.
That's where the punt's going.
Okay.
It's where the punt's going, and it's also the blocking assignments for the front guys.
Okay.
So when we say directional right and left, what we mean is not just on the hash or in the middle of the field, more towards the right. When we're talking right, we want that ball to land on the numbers or outside the numbers. So the farthest possible he can get it towards the sideline while maintaining good hang time and good distance. That's what we want. Never ever we want to punt in the middle of the field no matter what we're doing. So that's a little bit on the punter information on where we want him to be placing the ball. So let's go over how we're supposed to be blocking this. So each player up here in the front line has their own blocking assignment based off of the call, either green or gold. So for example, this is green. So on the right side, these are the kick side guys, all right? There's a kick side rule and a backside rule. So when we go green, what our guys are thinking is it's pretty simple. We go 1, 2, 3, okay? And then the backside, what we typically will do is think of this as 2, 3, and 4. It's a little bit different with the guys walked off the ball, but we'll consider these guys for the sake of the lesson. We'll go 2, 3, 4. Okay. So for this, primarily what they look like here is a hold up demeanor. So some guys down here, if these guys go right at them and try to block them, their responsibility will be just to release and go try to cover and tackle the punt returner. So let's run this through real quick, and then also let's talk about back here real quick. So obviously I didn't count these two guys in. I didn't count this guy. So we're just leaving those guys for our 3 shield members back here. That's where their eyes are going. Any type of punt call, our eyes in the shield are always going in to outside. So if nothing shows, if nothing rushes through here, they'll look to the outside rush. So right here, let's buzz through this here. Go back to the other clip. So we're in 1, 2, 3. Down here in the bottom, watch this. None of these guys are rushing towards the punter. None of these guys rush, which means when they don't rush, we don't have to block them. We're just going to go out and run downfield and try to cover. Now, vice versa here in the back, we call this position the gunner. Okay, this guy's rushing, so he can't just release. He has to block him. He does a good job at using him up for about 1.5 seconds, and then getting out to cover. And
so he's just trying to absorb kind of the impact of him, so he can get to the punter as quickly as he possibly can.
Yeah, he wants to use him up for as long as possible.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then if so happens that he gets a better jump at him and he's kind of trailing him, what the gunner's going to want to do is just run him into the shield.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to help and use these 3 guys as kind of his...
So just run him into the traffic.
Run him into the traffic the best you can. Don't release if he gets a head start. So right here, he gets a good jump off the ball, as you can see here. So he only needs to get him from the distance he is away from the punter. He only needs to fit him up for about 1.5 seconds tops, release, and then get downfield.
Because he's still got coverage responsibilities.
He still has coverage responsibilities as well, yes. So here we go. Let's check out the punt. Let's see how it is. So we're in green. We want this punt to be over here on the right on the numbers here. So it's pretty good hang time. The punt returner makes a fair catch. When the punt returner makes a fair catch like this, we want to get as many bodies as close to him as possible. In case he were to drop it, then it's a fair ball. What we don't want to do is make any type of contact or impede his progress to get the ball.
And a fair ball is what?
A fair catch?
A fair catch is when the punt returner will raise his hand up like this before the ball comes down, which means he has the right to catch the ball without being touched.
Okay, yep.
What it does for us is he cannot return the ball after a fair catch.
Okay.
So he has he cannot go anywhere. He catches it, offense comes on the field. However, he has to catch the ball. If he were to drop it, put it on the ground, it becomes a wide ball.
Okay, and a wide ball is like a fumble.
It's a fumble.
Okay,
It's
that makes
just,
sense.
just a fumble, yep.
So what if he bobbles it, but it hasn't touched the ground yet?
He still has the right to it. He still has the right to the football in that situation. We can't kind of tip it out of his hand type of thing. Until that ball hits the ground, then it becomes our ball, or the opportunity for us to recover. So this is a good look at just the blocking assignments of what we're thinking and how we get off a hold up here. We can go through some more clips here on some different types of looks. So this is a good one here.
So they got everybody up.
So they got everybody up now. So now I can kind of talk more about what our rules are in 5-5 when nobody walked off. All right. So now this is gold. All right. So the left side becomes the kick side. The right side becomes the back side. So the kick side rules, no matter what we're in, is always going to be 1, 2, 3. All right. So this guard right here should be blocking the 3. He should be blocking the 2. The gunner should be blocking the 1. On the back side now, which is the right side, which is different from the last clip we just discussed, we go right gunner on the 2, tackle on the 3, guard on the 4, which means we're going to be leaving here 1 who we should beat by the time we just always leave 1, we should just beat it with operation, and then we leave the two guys coming through the A gap here. We're going to leave them for the 3 shield players. As you see, nobody will block him. Our thought process is behind that. By the time the ball is snapped to punted, he won't have enough time to get there. Okay, so the phrase we use is beat the one with operation is what we use. So here we go. Let's go through this look here. All right. So we're on the bottom, like I just said. We're 1, 2, 3. So typically, what we would want him to do to make it easier on himself is he needs to widen out.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be that tight. All right. I don't know why he's that tight. It's just a mishap on his part. He should be widened out, splitting the difference between them. Once he sees his 3 widen out, he should widen with him. He doesn't widen out. Okay, that's fine. All right, we'll live. We won't panic. All right, so we're all good here. These guys are in blocking demeanor, so we're getting out and going, all right? We're pretty good up here blocking. Good job right there. These guys are in blocking demeanor, so these guys can get out and go and cover the punt. Here's where it becomes a really big issue. This punt should have got blocked. What we teach right here is as we're looking from behind, his left foot here. That's the critical part in the blocking process here. What he doesn't do is he doesn't move this foot at all. What he should do is we call it a bucket step. So this foot should go on a 45-degree angle backwards. This should go backwards, and it'll get him leverage to at least get a hand on him. So let's watch his footwork here on this snap.
So it goes
Steps
forward.
he steps underneath himself.
He steps underneath himself and he doesn't gain any ground. That's the big issue here. He gains no ground with this foot. So he gets no piece of him. So he lays up, his thought process here is he doesn't want to run into the punter and take a penalty. If we look at it right now, if he were to be coming full speed and dive right now, he has a great chance of blocking the punt, all right? I don't think he was anticipating coming that free off the ball, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
See, so now you're probably saying, oh, well, why doesn't 44 maybe peel back on him? That's not his responsibility here in gold. His eyes are right up here, and he does a great job stepping and punching. His eyes should never leave.
Yeah.
They should never leave the middle. So that's a question that we'll commonly get, oh, why didn't he peel back? We got to trust our guys up front. Right here's a good example of not getting it done. A little bit more about the punt scenario like we talked about. We want this punt going left, right? We're in gold. So gold, left. I think the pressure altered the punt here. He does a good job of getting it off very quick, under 2 seconds. He gets it off good. Doesn't get his full power into it, so it's only a 35-yard punt. Out of bounds at the 22, but we're grateful because it didn't get blocked. So I give a lot of credit to our punter getting the ball off quick, feeling the pressure. But up here, we should have done a better job at blocking it and using the technique.
So much like offense and defense, you kind of want to work inside to out. You want to control the inside of the field
Yeah.
because the outside is your least likely threats.
They're the least likely threats to block the punt.
Yeah,
They're the most likely threats to do a good job in blocking people and holding
So
up.
they're still threats, they're just in a different
We have to
aspect.
beat them in a different aspect.
So
Yeah.
on this look right here, if the 1 and the 2 at the bottom of the screen, if they were tightened down, would our guys have to cut their split and tighten down
Yep,
too?
we adjust with them. We
Yeah.
adjust with them.
Okay.
So they wouldn't just stay out there, they have to move.
Yeah, we would adjust with them. So what they're primarily thinking here is this is a combo look, so they want to rush some people, but they want to keep these people on our guys just in case it's a bad punt. They want to try to block it up and get some yards for this. All right. Keep moving through some clips here. All right, so now we're in green. All right, it's a good look again. We're in 5-5, so this is like our base teaching here. So same thing now. We're at gunner as at the 1, the 2, the 3. And now here's where it becomes dicey, and here's where we go back to your previous question right there. We widened out to start this clip. These guys didn't come with us. Okay, that's fine. We're going to tighten up here on the backside. So we tighten up here, and so in green, we got all stepped towards the sideline. So we're going 2, 3, 4, and then leaving everybody else for the shield. Okay? So we're in max green here. This is a pretty good punt, and pretty good coverage by our guys here. So let's watch the blocking technique here. So right here, he does a good job getting across his face and snatching. We got a lot of guys who are holding up here and up at the top. So these guys are taught to get out quick. So this is the only threat really that's rushing here that we're accounted for up on the front. The rest of the rushers are coming for the shield. All right, so number 4 here does a good job. We'll live with that. Up here, these guys get right into you right away. So once these guys step to you on the front line and try to block you, you got to try to get their arms down and cover. All right, not a good job right here. Pretty good job by 37, getting off and running full speed down the field, trying to stack them. All right, so max green, we want that punt on the right side of the field, out by the numbers. Not the best location. It's pretty good. It's pretty good hang time here. I'm gonna flip it around. You can kind of see the coverage a little bit better. So it's not the best location, right? So he wants to return it. What we tell our guys, the first guy, when this guy's trying to return it, we tell him to keep the ball to the boundary, which means he should be running straight at his right leg as we look at it. He should be running straight at his right hip and taking his shot. He does a good job maintaining leverage, playing, wrapping up, driving his feet, does a great job. We'll move on to a different look. Does anybody have any questions about the max green and gold type?
So we're always, if we're on the right hash is green, left hash is gold. How do we just, if we're in the middle of the field, is it just the, what
Typically, we'll go off the punter's discretion on that, whatever he likes better. So our punter in our scheme, we like to punt the ball to the right more, righty. That's a little more common. What we got into at the end of the season is we started cross-kicking teams. So we could go gold here. That makes no difference for our blocking assignments. We'll block it just like gold. The punter will just try to really push it outside that hash. That's more like a game plan type of thing. If the returner starts to cheat and every time it's on the hash, he's lining up here, that's when we'll throw in a punt across the field and try to steal some yards that way.
So then there comes the aspect of, I guess you could say, surprise of doing something they're not suspecting or doing something different than what they've been looking on film from previous
Exactly,
games.
the element of surprise like we talked about a little bit earlier. And yeah, we just watched, and maybe some other teams might have kicked it across. They had trouble fielding the ball, might have fumbled one, that type of thing. Or we could do it against a returner who's a dynamic player who we don't want the ball in his hands. We'll try to kick it away from him, keep the ball away from him at all costs.
Now with the guy's eyes, are they looking at the ball to see it snapped? Are they looking at their man, or what are they?
That's a good question.
Right.
So what we do is here. So right here is we'll tell these guys in green. So guys away from the call. So that would be the left side in this scenario. Okay, guys away from the call. they should be looking down and having their man and the ball in their peripheral vision. They can be looking at both. When we're split out like this, you're good. You could just be lined up, eyes inside, and go, just like an offensive play. Right here, in this situation, he's fine where his eyes are at. He can man up his guy. And we have a certain cadence that goes on back here. So when these guys in the back say a certain word, and in our system it's called set, they know that that ball is about to be snapped and we're about to play.
So can they move on set, or are you still waiting on the snap?
They can move on
They
snap.
can move on set.
As we get more reps, day one we like to just say, I have the ball, be on side. As we get hundreds of reps throughout, the preseason and stuff, that's when our timing becomes better and we can time it up with all 11 and be sharp. And it's really on the long snap where we get that ball out when the personal protector does say set.
Okay.
Next thing is here, let's talk through this call. So Max Green, we're backed up. One thing we can do here is we can call real quick here, we can call light. So anytime one or more players has walked off the ball, you'll hear this guy in the back come up and say, easy, light green or light gold, okay? When he says light, our rules all go to kick side, okay? Which means we are base. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then opposed to 2, 3, 4, we're just going 1, 2, 3. So light just means 1, 2, 3 across the board. The 4s and 5s are counted for in the shield. So that's, since this guy's 5 yards walked off the ball, we'll make a light call here. So we should block this 1, 2, 3, and we do. We do this correct here. All right. So right here, these guys clear hold up, get out and win. All right. Good job, both outside releases. I'm good with that. Up here in the front line, right there, 3. That's our 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, since he's walked off, he doesn't have to count him. We want to take that first threat head up on him. Now on the back side, we're good. We're at 1, 2, 3. We all do a good job. Get out and run. Now here's where it becomes an issue. Not a great play right here. So we're in green. We'll shuffle to the right. Our eyes are inside. What we need to do here is what we don't. You see how his feet don't step? It's like punching somebody. You want to step to contact. So maybe like an offensive line would be a good example of that. His feet don't come with him, and he just uses his arms here. When you just use your arms, you have somebody running full speed. They're just going to run right through your arms there. All right. So you want to bring your whole lower body into this and really try to almost like a one-man sled or a bench press, something where you're extending with your lower body. That would be something we teach them here. So that left leg needs to step at the man.
So that's one of the reasons why that guy kind of gets. He doesn't block it, but he gets pretty close.
He gets pretty close, and this is the same clip right here as the USC stuff. He takes his shot, and he's fearless and dives across. He knows what can happen. Okay, we'll watch it from the back end too. It'll give you a good look at how close this really is. Let's watch his left foot just step sideways. We want that foot to step vertical, right?
Does he want to get his head across that guy, or does that matter?
No, not necessarily. He doesn't have to. I would like to see him get out of this a little bit earlier, right? When there's nothing showing up on his alley. He could kind of peel back a bit with his left leg, all right, and get more of his body into him to do something there. But just using your arms in this is just not going to be enough.
Yeah.
So green, backed up punt, just a big part in the game for us too. We needed to flip the field in this scenario, all right? We were punting the ball back and forth to each other. We were losing a field position battle. So ideally, we want this ball to travel past midfield with good location. Not a great snap either. It's a good play by our punter using his hands. And when we talk about backed up punts, okay, you can't punt the ball 70 yards and put the ball in their 30-yard line, all right? It's just not feasible. So we take what we can get. So we want to harp on good location and good hang time. We don't want any returns coming out of this. What he does is he has great location, great hang time, and what he does is, which we don't really talk about much, is distance. This is Ball's on the 6-yard line. This ball travels to, let's see where this ball travels to here. Travels past the 50 to about the 48. All right, so that's a great punt there. That's over 45-yard net punt, and we flip the field for them. So now, in addition, they're going to need about 2 first downs to even get in consideration for points to get past the 30. Big play in the game for us there. Great punt. Let's keep going to the same game here. Here we go. We're good. We're good. So now we see there's something different. There's something different about our punt scheme right now, right? What's the difference here in this one that we've been talking about?
We don't have 3 guys back 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage.
We don't have 3 guys in the shield this one, right?
Yep.
So what we do is, and this is a different, I'll show a couple clips of this and we can include the punt lesson. What we do here is we sub out one of these bigger shield guys and we bring in a guy with more speed, typically a wide receiver, a defensive back, or a running back. All right, in this scenario, we bring in a running back. All right, and what we call this is extra gunner. We call this extra gunner formation. So off the sideline, when we're calling extra gunner, that other guy in the shield knows, all right, I'm out. Our extra gunner who I want in the game will come in, and we will do countless amounts of formations out of this. We'll do all sorts of different formations. So on this one, what we do is we start off in a twins right, wing left look, and we're going to motion him off and snap it as he's kind of coming full speed here. All right, that's the formation. Now with these guys up front, you notice we're tight, right? So there's no walking out and coming in. As soon as we come off the sideline, we line up just like this. We want to get tight together, and what we want to do is just zone everything down, which means from the back end here, as we look at it, what we want to do is we all want to step to the this side wants to step to the right, this side wants to step to the left. We want to take up everything.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So it's a little bit more difficult getting out to cover the punts, but that's why we have more gunners to get free releases and force fair catches. Okay. So Rodeo Rex, we're all going to step down. He's going to motion, and we should snap it when he's about right in this area right here. We motion.
He goes motion right there.
And we snap it at the perfect time. We're good. I would like to see, this should be full speed right now. Like right now out of it, he should be going full speed. All right, he does a good job of getting the top speed and stacking them here. It's an awesome job by 21 on this play. Now, we talked about this a little earlier in the segment here. When this ball is caught, which way, so 21 is going to be the first person at the ball carrier. Which way should 21 be forcing this ball carrier? Should he be making sure this ball gets closer to the sideline, or should he be taking his shot at the right leg, forcing the ball to the field?
Towards the sideline.
We want to keep him towards the sideline. That's less space to run. Okay?
Yeah,
Even though we
absolutely.
have guys here, which our gunners got washed in the middle of the field, which isn't great, we want to make sure that this guy doesn't have much room. All right?
So take a shot at his left leg.
Take a shot at his left leg. So in this case scenario, we would talk about opposite kneecap. And this should be full speed, arms extended, doing whatever you can to alter him. And it might not be a tackle. It might be a trip up. It might be something to make him shift, but it'll be enough to get our boys in to help us out. So he doesn't leverage the ball correctly here, all right? That's an issue. That's fine, though. What happens is now our next guy should still try to keep the ball into the boundary. He also does not do that. He runs to that outside leg, and now with these guys blocked up, we got a lot of green out here and not a lot of gray jerseys, which is a big issue in punt. When you give punt returners space, especially in a good conference like this, they're going to take every bit of advantage of that. So we get a little bit lucky here, and this is the only time we'll talk about it, is they call a push in the back, which is a 15-yard penalty on number 2 here. All right, you're going to see the flag come out on that. That's the call. It could go either way. It really could. His arms extend. He gets a little bit of a push. It could go either way, but that's definitely not what we teach. All right, we want to keep that ball to the sideline. And then once again, 41, same thing I'd say, right? Same thing we talked about. keep the ball to the boundary. So he should just run right this way, right up the hash, right? He gets too far inside, can't recover, and then it's trouble, all right? It's trouble. We talked about this later in the season. What we want right now, so at this point right now, what's wrong with this pitcher is the punter should be right here. The punter should be taking air out of it. The punter shouldn't be a spectator. The punter should punt the ball and run down the field. The punter's just standing, not even in the screen, and this is just, we're just not going to be able to make this play as a punter. He needs to take the air out of it and try to make this guy make another cut. So say the punter comes up full speed right now. He comes up full speed, all right? What that's going to do is he comes up full speed is he's going to alter this guy into one of us, and we can at least get him down, all right? He doesn't take the air out of it, lets all this green, and that's why you don't want to let the ball get to the field. Ends up getting called back, thankfully, but there's a lot of good teach tape on that clip there.
So that kind of goes back to having all 11 guys, even the guy who's punting the ball, be involved in it.
Yeah, everybody's accountable on this for their particular job. All right, so now we're in two-man shield again, all right? And this is a different formation, all right? Like I said, we'll do a ton of formations on this. So right here, this is our extra gunner. It's number 5. This time it's a wide receiver. Another guy with some speed, all right? He's on the ball, which means this guy has to be off, all right? So what we decide to do is we decide to motion him. We're going to punt it to the left here, all right? Leo means we're going to punt it to the left, and Leo means the same thing as goal, like we talked about earlier, location-wise. All right, we want that ball out to the left to the numbers. We motion them. Everything's all good here. All right. Let's talk about the blocking up front. So we want to all zone this down again, right? Once again, like we talked about earlier, the foot doesn't go far enough back, so he doesn't have enough on it. Another close to being blocked punt there. We'd like to see here. You mentioned it earlier. We'd like to see his helmet get across up on the front line, all right? You would like to see that there. Kind of like 37 does a great job here. 41, not so much. All right? So that's fine. We're out and going now. Let's flip it around from the other way and kind of talk through the coverage on this one. So punting the ball far with no hang time is just not good, all right? It's just not good for anybody. So this is about a 67-yard punt, all right? The problem is it's less than 4.0 hang time. So by the time the punt returner gets this ball, we're gonna have no cougs by him. We're gonna have nobody by him. So he's gonna be able to dictate what he wants to do on this play, all right? So here we go. Let's watch it from this way. I can talk about leveraging the ball. So you don't want to outkick your coverage. That's what we talk about, all right? So he outkicks his coverage, all right? All right, right here. We're not in a bad situation, all right? We have guys bracketed off where we coach them to be, all right? So now let's go back to the big coaching point, the big lesson I've been teaching is, so 46 is the first guy there. What should we want him to do here?
Force him back to the sideline.
Force him back to the sideline by taking a shot at this left leg here. All right. It's the complete opposite of what we talk about, right? The complete opposite of what we talk about. He could stay on his feet, just like he does. And first of all, he doesn't dive, doesn't take his shot. Not a great hustle play here, which is wrong. However, if he runs right by, like he does here on this other hit, he's going to force the ball back into 3 players right here. All right, he doesn't. We're out the gate now. This is trouble, all right? This is a slow, and what you also can't do on punt is you can't expect somebody else to make the play, all right? Number 4 is expecting somebody else to make the play. We don't. A lot of green here. We're doing a good job at bracketing it off, but nobody's wanting to step up and really fit this guy up and make the play. We're kind of watching, expecting other people to make it. All right, better job by the punter on this one than the last clip. He's taking the air out of it. In the last clip, the punter was standing back here. All right, so when he's standing back there, the number 2 is not going to see him. He'll just hit it up the middle. So he sees another color. All right, I got to bounce it now. He's still in it, good angle, make him keep seeing you, and let our guys catch up and get him down. Not a good play all around on the punt team. A lot of people at fault on this one. But the good thing is about getting them down is, yeah, they get 40-yard return. It's awful. What happens in this game is the offense for Stanford comes out, our defense helps us out, they go 3 and out, they punt the ball back to us. That's why you play this through no matter what. Giving up 6 points on punt team is definitely not as bad as giving up a touchdown.
So this is another play of how important it is to emphasize on attacking that inside leg and forcing him outside toward the sideline.
Absolutely. Everything we do is the first person that attack. That's the only thing that you should be going through your mind when you're approaching the ball carrier. It should be, I need to leverage the ball to the boundary. Okay. We'll finish up here and go over one more type of punt. It's going to be one clip here. Let's wait for this to load. Just knock my phone or still running, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So on this one here, alright, 2-man shield again, okay, which is fine. We've talked about that. I don't need to emphasize. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll out and punt it. So some people like to call this Aussie punt, rugby punt. Alright, so this is one of our examples of rolling out, alright. So same blocking rules apply, like 2-man shield. Well, what are we thinking in 2-man shield here? When we got two guys in the shield, what should we be doing up on the front line?
Working them outside the in and hoping we get an extra gunner out.
Beautiful. We want all get down, right? We want all zone down. Block it down, but it is critical that our gunners get out, like you mentioned, all 3 of them, right?
Yep.
Instead of just 2. Need all 3 of them to win. Another one of those looks where we motion it, alright? We're gonna motion it, hit it on the run. So now, like what's a little bit different is typically we were just standing there and punting the ball flat-footed. Now we're rolling out, alright? What this does is this does a couple different things. It gives us more time to get down the field, alright? We're gonna be closer to the ball carrier by the time he catches it. And it also limits the ability to block the punt, and it's difficult to field. So there's a lot of different things that can go on into a rugby punt here. Same rules apply, all right? We want this ball in the numbers, good hang time, good distance, same rules apply in that. All right, so this was our 9th game of the season, and we haven't done this yet. And we thought this was one of those times where we thought, all right, the punt returner right now is going to really be cheating this and standing to the left. So we're going to try to roll out and make this ball bounce and make him not field it. So that's something from watching film and watching their returner. So now he's hustling. You can see he was all the way over there. He can't get it, right? He can't field it. Ball's going to bounce around right here, and we steal an extra 7 yards or so, and no return. All right. It's a good punt. It's great placement. He can't get over there and field it, but that's exactly what we want on a rocket punt there. Now we can do this also at a 3-man shield. All right, when we call rocket and 3-man shield, same rules apply. Just we're all stepping down. All right, when we call rocket, we all want to step down. We want our gunners to win, preferably right here. I'd want an outside release and go. Great job there by our gunner on the bottom. So now we're going to roll and do the same thing I just talked about. Block it up here, zone it down, nobody shows, get out and cover. Inside release on the top, which is critical, makes you closer to the ball. Here you go, wide rocket. Again, he's in the middle of the field, he's struggling to get over there. Fair catch comes up, all right, so that's great for us already. No return. Make sure we stay off them, we're good on that. Punt goes to about the 12, we win the down. It's good job flipping the field, keeping the ball inside the 20. So the rocket punts can be used to try to pin teams deep, try to catch teams off guard, try to create a turnover, just a couple of different things, but the rocket punts is more of a game plan thing if we see a weakness in our opponent. So that's all I got on our 3 different types of punt schemes. I'll open it up. Is there any final questions that I can answer about punt?
Nope, nailed it.
Covered it all?
Yep.
Good
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
All right. Appreciate you guys coming. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you.